front, this time in Paris. We're getting information of some kind of incident on the Champs-Élysées inside Paris. It appears as if a car rammed into a mobile police unit. That's according to the Paris police and gendarmes on Twitter. We don't have much more information as to that. Clarissa Ward, incidents in Paris right now, unfortunately. Clarissa Ward has stepped away. Sajan Goel, if you're still with us. We saw an attack, I believe it was just a week ago, outside the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. We are seeing attacks there. We don't know the nature of this one, but obviously that too is a city on edge.
Very much so, and Paris has experienced a whole plethora of attacks, most notably the November 2015 marauding attacks. There was that incident in the build-up to the first round of the presidential elections where a terrorist inspired by ISIS shot dead a French policeman near the Champs-Élysées. So unfortunately, France still has problems just like the UK has. And it's also important to look at the timing of a lot of the ISIS-inspired attacks, that they tend to take place during Ramadan. For the last 3 years, ISIS is trying to hijack this important religious event for their own nefarious purposes. And as there's still some time to go before Ramadan ends, we may have to expect more of these type of incidents against civilians and against the police, because that is something ISIS has called for, about targeting the police.
And of course, though, as we speak, again, the attack overnight in London was targeting Muslims. The only thing they have in common, apparently, the London attack and what may have just happened in Paris, and we don't know the nature of this event other than a police mobile unit was attacked, it was both vehicle-borne, cars ramming into things. And there's really very few ways to protect against that, is there?
It's a huge challenge, turning a vehicle into a lethal weapon. Billions of people drive their vehicles every day. The 99.9% aren't going to commit an act of terrorism, but it's getting into a situation now where it could suddenly, randomly, spontaneously happen. Now, some of the attacks that have happened in London on the bridges, they are building concrete barriers between the sidewalk and the road, which is important. But we also know that there could be other locations. ISIS themselves have gone out of their way to promote these vehicle attacks, what they call just terror. So it's something that unfortunately we've seen and sadly we'll probably see in the future.
All right, so John Gohel, thanks so much. Our thanks to Clarissa Ward as well. I'm going to go to Paris right now. Our French correspondent Melissa Bell joins us right now for some details on what we're seeing in the Champs-Élysées, a police mobile unit rammed by a vehicle. Melissa, what can you tell us?
Well, it's been within the last hour, John. This really has just happened here on the Champs-Élysées. Perhaps you can see just behind my shoulder down there, the bottom half of the Champs-Élysées leading towards the Concorde is the part that's been cordoned off, John. What we can see down there is one car that's been stopped in the middle of that police cordon, a white car that's been covered in the sort of material you spray on cars to put them out. And across the road, a man on the ground, and he's been there for the last hour. I could clearly see him when I was down there earlier on. Now, what the police have confirmed to us is that that car did try to ram into a police truck. No news yet, though, John, on whether this was a deliberate, intentional attack on the part of the man driving the car or not. Clearly a massive police presence, however, down there. The cordon has been growing really by the minute, with onlookers being pushed further and further back. And just to provide a bit of context, it was right here, of course, just a few weeks ago, back in April, security forces were once again targeted. A police truck was targeted by a man who sadly took the life of one policeman. No word yet on whether this is that sort of incident or not, John.
Something of a pattern, a disturbing pattern that we've seen in Paris of late, as Melissa said, on the Champs-Élysées some months ago, also in front of Notre Dame. It would appear to be attacks on law enforcement there. We're still getting more information about what happened. A vehicle apparently ramming into a mobile police unit. We'll get more details, Melissa, and come back to you. We'll be right back.